From rags to riches, I still go back to the trenches. We had to smash some niggas.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Process Sports Radio. Once again, I'm your host, Justin Pooney. Today, I got a big episode. I'm just going to be touching on, what's been going on in the bubble of the NHL and the NBA and the playoff action that I've been glued to every day. I'm just like a kid in a candy store, man. Every day, there's like four hockey games on, 4 basketball games on. NFL training camps are in full swing. Baseball's got some interesting stuff going on. So definitely a sense of normalization is coming back together in the sporting world, again, without fans. So that's not really normal, but it's kind of the new normal. But like I said, I am very excited that sports is on. I'm super thankful and grateful I have stuff to talk about. And there's actually live sports to watch. Touching on personal, what's going on in the real world, here in BC, the second wave is here, guys. And it's really prevalent around the younger ages. I know I put a post up about wearing a mask and stuff like that. I definitely am a proponent of wearing a mask. Wear your mask when you go out in public, stuff like that. Take care of each other. Not so much about yourself if you don't worry about it, but worry about other people, man. Like, this is a serious disease, a serious virus that is taking control over the whole world. And we as a society need to come together and understand that, hey, like, the only person that can slow it down and stop it is us. Practice social distancing. Maintain a small bubble of people you hang out with, right? Don't go to parties. Don't go to this and that. Stay safe. That's all I ask. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just stay safe, right? But all that is, we'll take care of that. As well, I have some big news. We are going to be starting a fantasy football league for all you fantasy football players out there. I know I'm a big fantasy football guy. So everybody out there that wants to join, DM me, hit me up on Instagram. If you want to join, it's going to be a money pool. Let me know. We'll get you in there. It's going to be something that I really want to start because I feel like a lot of you guys out there that do follow me and do listen love fantasy football, love the NFL. So it's a great way to be interactive with all you guys, and that's something I really want to do. Like I said, again, guys, stay tuned. More merch is coming out. I really do appreciate all the support. Like I said, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Process Sports, Twitter at _Process Sports. Check my website out. ProcessSportsRadio.com. My YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. This video will be on there, and you know where to find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcast. You know the drill on there. So guys, let's go right into it. Let's talk about those Vancouver Canucks, who last time I dropped an episode had just beat the Minnesota Wild, and we're entering a new series against the defending Stanley Cup champions. And my God, what a series it's been so far. The Canucks stormed out of the gates, winning 2-0 on the shoulders of their captain Bo Horvat, who deserves more respect on his name. Bo Horvat this playoff has been taken to another level, and he's really playing at like a clip like Ryan Kesler played in 2011. Now, I'm not saying Bo Horvat's going to be like Ryan Kesler in his prime. Ryan Kesler scored 40 goals in a year and was a Selke Trophy winner. But I definitely think Bo Horvat has those capabilities of being a solid two-way player. He's definitely got that confidence and that swagger. And he needs more respect. Like, everybody talks about Hughes, Pedersen, Besser, all those guys, and rightfully so. They deserve to be talked about. But I feel that Bo Horvat is the guy that stirs the drink. He's the leader. He leads by example, and he does all the right things a leader needs to do. He's hard. He wins faceoffs. He scores timely goals. He's a leader in that sense, and that's why, like I said, he's the perfect choice to be the captain of this young team and this young core. And like I said, he's definitely taken his game to the next level in this playoff series. But yeah, like, the Canucks are up 3-2. They're up 3-2 in the defending Stanley Cup champions. If you had told anybody going into that series, hey, the Canucks would be up 3-2 going to Game 6 against the defending champions to close them out, would you take that? Absolutely 1,000% of people would be saying that. And the thing about it, the Canucks could have been up 3-0, right? They lost in an overtime game that, the refs kind of bit of a piss-poor reffing show in those last 2 games that the Canucks lost. But you know what? They showed resilience, especially in this last Game 5. They were down 3-1, and they could have just packed it and said, all right, boys, you know what? We had to give them a nice kick at the can and kind of just lied for dead. They didn't. The Canucks showed resiliency. They came back. They fought. They timely goals by unexpected guys like Jake Virtanen, who I know I'm hard on Jake Virtanen, because if he played for half the amount of effort of the next guy who shined last night with Tyler Mott, if Virtanen played with half of the amount of energy and passion that Tyler Mott plays for, imagine how good Jake Virtanen would be. That's why Tyler Mott plays those big men, because he throws his body in front of pucks. He's hard. He's relentless. He never stops moving his feet. And he was finally rewarded last night with a big game, and he scored the game-winning goal, right? So, I mean, that is like timely goals from untimely guys is something that's you need in the playoffs to be successful, and the Canucks have gotten that. But to not take any of the lust away from them at all, this series is not over. This series is going to go to 7 games, in my opinion. I tweeted it out the other day. It's going to go to 7, Canucks in 7, and I'm standing behind that 1,000%. I know I picked Blues in 6 to begin with, but I was wrong. The only way the Blues can win is in 7, but the Canucks are going to win in 7 as well. So I think the Blues do, it's going to be tough. They're the defending champs. They have pride. They're not going to lie for dead and let this team just eliminate them, right? The Blues are going to stand up and fight, and they're going to fight to stay alive. And I do believe that the Blues will fight and scratch and claw, just like they're a heavy team. They're a heavy team. They're not going to lie for dead. And it's going to be the hardest thing that this young Canucks team has done, to close out the defending champions. Yes, you closed out Minnesota in an overtime game, but that's Minnesota. This is the defending Stanley Cup champions here. This is a different type of pressure, different type of game that you got to play. You are trying to close out and end their season. And that is something that is going to be very hard for this team to do. I don't know if they'll be able to do it in a game 6. It's going to take a miraculous effort, I feel, from the whole team, top to bottom. It could possibly happen. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think that the Canucks need... the Blues are going to come back and give one more punch, but then the Canucks will take it in 7. But speaking on Game 5 yesterday about the resiliency of the club and fighting back and having a tough come from behind win that really... Regardless, if they win or lose this series, if the Canucks win or lose this series, the Canucks have had a great season in my opinion, because they fought tooth and nail with the defending champions. They won a play-in round, right? It was it's a playoff series, right? So they won that. They got in the playoffs. They got experience. But you know what? If they lose to 7 games to the defending champions, you can't really complain. That's a great season, right? So I do think that whatever happens, the outcome is the Canucks, it's a win for the season. But they are going to win in 7. I know the Canucks will win in 7. And get ready to party at Scott Road safely, socially distancedly. We will have a good time. But I want to talk about Jacob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom stood on his head last game in Game 5. He protected that the Blues had a 2-goal lead, and if he didn't stand on his head, it would have been a 3-4 goal lead. And for him to keep his team in there and let them fight and come back and win it, just shows you a true testament of why he is the team MVP, why he is the most important, not the best player, but the most important player on the team. Without Jacob Markstrom, the Canucks would have never been in that play-in round series. They would have never been in this bubble, right? They would have never had a chance to go up 3-2 on the defending champions, because without him, they would never be here. He's the backbone of the team. He has stolen them so many games. He's picked them up so much, right? And that's why I stress so much that they need to sign him, because they need him. They need Jacob Markstrom, right? Jacob Markstrom is the backbone of this team. The way he just calms and gives the team confidence that, hey, we can make mistakes. We have a guy behind us that will stop the puck and keep us in games. That is the confidence especially for a young team that's still trying to figure itself out on the defensive end, is very, very important. And that is something that you cannot teach. And the one thing with Jacob Markstrom is this that I really love is he was such a highly touted prospect in Florida. He was considered to be the goalie of the future, all of that. And things kind of fell out of favor. He spent time in the minors, developing. He was a late bloomer. And he comes to Vancouver and immediately becomes a backup behind Eddie Lack. Then he goes and plays in the minors in Utica for a whole year, where he's behind Ryan Miller and Eddie Lack. And then he backs up Ryan Miller for a couple of years. And you could tell that, there was something there with him. There was something that was brewing with him that, you could see the talent. And you know what? The biggest thing with him was he was notorious for letting in soft goals, and his positioning and stuff like that wasn't always the best. But he fixed that with goaltending coaches. And you could see he worked on his game, but he also worked on the mental aspect of his game. And I think for athletes, for people, the mental side of things is so important, because when you have that mental strength and that mental capacity and that mental fortitude to remain calm and stable when things go bad. I mean, that's something for me, myself. I'm trying to work on myself as well. When things go wrong, don't get too down. When things get really good, don't get too high. Have that even keel personality that will keep you grounded. And that's something that for Jacob Markstrom, especially as a goalie, where if you let a soft one in, don't let it affect you. Don't let it get you off your game. Just shake it off and get back in that net and fight. And that's something that Jacob Markstrom has done, and that's something that this team needed from him to take that next step that they're taking right now. And that's something that all athletes and people need to really follow, in my opinion, was that just try to keep your mental emotions, your mental health, your mental emotions at an even keel. If things go great, great. Enjoy it for a little while, but don't ever get too high or too low. You want to keep that steady focus and that steady mindset where it keeps the grind going, keeps the process going. That's something that's very important, and it's definitely something that's paid off for Jacob Markstrom. especially in Game 5. But in the last couple of years, you've seen him take that next step as an elite goaltender who's going to get paid by the Vancouver Canucks in this offseason. Lastly, before I end the Canucks talk is, guys, like I said, Blues are going to win Game 6, but Canucks in 7, baby. We're going to the second round. Let's fucking go. But yeah, let's go over to the NBA. So the NBA playoffs have started as well. Of course, as I predicted, the Portland Trailblazers did make the playoffs. I was right about that, so win for me. But yeah, the number 1 seed, each conference had lost both their first games, and everybody's all freaking out, like, oh my God, the Bucks are in trouble, the Lakers are in trouble, who's in more trouble? Speaking on that, oh, by the way, Paul Pierce talking about LeBron not being a top 5 player and his legacy and all that stuff. If they lose to the Blazers, Paul Pierce, shut your mouth. You know how I feel about you. You're a fucking fool. I think that you're just saying this shit because you're butthurt about LeBron knocking your ass out of the playoffs every year. And just shut up. Your opinion is worthless to me. You're like Skip Bayless. Your opinion is worthless. And that's the thing I want to talk about, actually. Let's talk about it right now. The U.S. media. Now, I feel the U.S. sports media has so much influence on us fans that it brainwashes our mind. We listen to these guys, whether it's a Skip Bayless, a Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, whatever. They all brainwash our minds. They all say this stuff, these outlandish takes and stuff, because they want us to get a reaction, whether it's positive or negative, right? In my opinion, though, the one that really pisses me off is this. The amount of disrespect these guys give to not only Canada, but Canadian athletes, right? You look at a guy like Jamal Murray. He's finally getting shine after he had a 36-point game in Game 1 of the playoffs against Utah, and now he's finally getting talked about as a big-time player, right? This man has been playing in the league for a couple of years now and has been doing the exact same stuff, and I've been saying it before. Canadian athletes are just as good as American athletes. They're just as good, just as talented, right? Canada has just as much talent as the United States, and we don't need fake hot takes, fake stuff like that. We have a nation of excellence. We are the greatest country in the world. There's no other place in the world I'd rather be than here in Canada. We have flaws, don't get me wrong, but we also have a lot of talented young people that are going to be doing a lot of great things and changing the world. So for all you U.S. media out there, used to affect me quite a bit. Like, why aren't they talking about Canada? Why aren't they showing respect on the Raptors? Why aren't they showing respect? They don't. The U.S. is the U.S. They want to hear what they want to hear. It's like everybody wants to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear anything else, right? But speaking on that, I don't really care what the U.S. media thinks. I don't really care anymore. I don't care anymore because you know what? It's irrelevant to me because you know why? They just say things to get hot takes, right? So a guy like Paul Pierce, you say whatever you want to say, bro. Just remember at the end of the day, you have won what? One title. And you won it because you had KG and Ray Allen to come with you. Okay? So remember this. You're as Draymond Green said, they don't love you like that. You're not Kobe Bryant. You're not even Steve Nash. You're nothing, bro. Like, in your era, you are not a top 10 player. So stop talking. Okay? I feel like you're just a lazy media analyst who doesn't do the work that deserves to be on TV. You're just a name that says stupid shit, and you get pub out of it, whether it's negative or positive, right? But going back to basketball talk, I really think if the Lakers want to win this, they're in a dogfight with Portland. Portland's on a regular 8 seed. Have you seen the way Portland's been playing right now? They're playing with confidence. Dame is dancing on the court. CJ McCollum's playing better now. Melo's being Melo right now. He's being clutch. Timely rebounds, timely shots. Melo's being Melo. Stay Melo, baby. Gary Trent Jr., Yusuf Nurkic is all playing well. Hassan Whiteside was throwing a block party in Game 1, right? The Lakers are in a dogfight. It's not going to be easy. And would I be surprised if Portland won? No, I would not be. I actually think if Portland wins the series, it won't be that big of a shock because Portland is a good team. Portland was in the Western Conference Finals last year, right? Portland went toe-to-toe with the Warriors. Now they got swept, but they didn't get blown out every game, right? I think Portland definitely has a chance of beating the Lakers, right? The only thing with the Lakers, if they really want to win, LeBron has to be more assertive. LeBron cannot be passing it off to Danny Green, KCP, Kyle Kuzma, all of them. They're not trustworthy. And that's the problem I've been saying about both these number 1 seeds all year. They don't have trustworthy supporting cast. They have their guy, LeBron James. You know what you're going to get from them, right? But everything below that, you don't know. Anthony Davis, looks like the pressure got to him in the playoffs, right? I just feel that these teams, both of them, are going to be... Now, Milwaukee, I feel, in the first round, yes, they'll get by Orlando because Orlando's not talented enough, right? But once they hit, Boston, Toronto, even in Miami, you're going to get They're not going to make it to the finals. And I told you that, guys, that they're not going to make it to the finals, Milwaukee, because I don't trust their supporting staff. They don't have a guy who can go and get his own shot. They don't have a guy that could take the ball away from Giannis and get a bucket. You look what happened last year against the Raptors. Again, Kawhi goes on Giannis. They shut him down. The Bucks lose 4 straight games and they're out, right? The Bucks don't have, and they need to win this year because you know why? Because Giannis is entering his last year of his contract. You know every team is going to be lining up for him. You know the Warriors will be lining up for him. The Heat, the Raptors, whoever. They're all going to be lining up for Giannis. And if they don't prove to win and they don't have a winning team, why would he stay, right? He needs to win a title to validate himself as an elite player. Yes, he's going to want to win, probably win back-to-back MVPs, but he's not going to have a title or playoff success. So I think the Bucks, yes, they're probably going to get by Orlando, but their team is not built for success in the playoffs. Eric Bledsoe's not a number 2. Chris Middleton's not a number 2. Chris Middleton's like a number 3 or 4 on a championship team, in my opinion. You got the Lopez brothers, DiVincenzo. You got these guys. The Bucks are Giannis or bust, and that's the same thing with the Lakers too. The Lakers are LeBron or bust. If LeBron goes to 2018 playoff LeBron and he puts them on his back, and yes, LeBron is that type of guy where if he puts a team on his back, he could carry them to victory. And that's going to be the only way the Lakers will win. If LeBron goes on a virtuoso, just puts everybody on his back, get the ball out of my way, I'm not going to facilitate anymore, I'm going to score and attack the rim at will. That is how the Lakers are going to be successful. LeBron needs to attack the rim, and just dominate. He cannot be passive. He cannot be making the right basketball play anymore. You see Danny Green, you see KCP, they're throwing up bricks, right? You see Kyle Kuzma, he's not trustworthy, right? What are you going to do? Put Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith in? It's not going to make any difference, right? LeBron needs to be that guy. Take the ball, go down. When LeBron goes to the rim, he is unstoppable. Shannon Sharp said it so eloquently perfect the other day. He said LeBron is going to look like Derrick Henry. LeBron is built like a monster, and he goes down to the rim like that. Nobody's going to stop him. Nobody's going to get in his way, right? Take it to the rim, LeBron, and just cram it on him. That's how you're going to win. But like I said, Portland is not a regular 8 seed. Portland, look at Dame. He's playing probably the best player in the world right now, playing wise, right? You see these guys, like it's not going to be easy against Portland. And that's something that LeBron needs to realize and say, I don't really trust these guys. I need to take it into my own hands. And that's the only way the Lakers are going to win, in my opinion. Now, in other series, you look at the Raptors. The Raptors just doing what the Raptors do. They're being professional. They're just getting the job done. Fred VanVleet's playing unbelievable. He's playing for that new contract that he wants to get and he deserves and he will get from the Raptors in the offseason. You look at Kyle Lowry's playing good. Gasol, Ibaka. They're just doing their job. That's it. And that's what I love about this Raptors team. They just do their job. They don't say much. They don't get a lot of media love. I mean, they're the defending champions, for God's sake, and they're playing noon games and not even primetime games, right? So definitely I do feel that the Raptors are just doing what the Raptors do. They're just playing good basketball, good sound basketball, and they're dominating Brooklyn, right? You look at the other Eastern Conference series, you see the 76ers are pretty much done. I think Brett Brown's going to get fired at the end of the year. It looks like the Embiid and Simmons experiment is going to be over. Now, I know Ben Simmons is injured, but I just feel that it's kind of run its course now. It's kind of time for a change. You could tell that this Philadelphia team is stale now and they need a change, and Boston's just outclassing them right now. And then you got Miami and Indiana, which, I mean, TJ Warren, all that fun stuff is kind of washed off now. Miami's a better team. Miami's going to win this series handily. Go over to the West. Now, Utah and Denver is a really, really good series. Really entertaining basketball. You had Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell going back and forth. I really love that series. Really good basketball to watch, but two young teams that are playing great ball. Houston, OKC is also... I was surprised when OKC got beat by that bad. I thought it was going to be a more competitive series. Now, it's only been one game, but I do think that that's going to be another great series, a dogfight series where two teams that are very evenly matched, going to be going back and forth at it. And then finally, the Clippers and the Mavs. The Mavericks should be up 2-0. The Mavericks got screwed over with that bullshit call by ejecting KP, Kristaps Porzingis, in the first game. They should have been up 2-0 on the Clippers, right? Paul George is turning back into playoff P by choking. And it's great to see. Like I told you guys, I'm off the Clippers bandwagon. I don't want to see them win. I love Kawhi, but I don't want to see them win. I want to see Paul George struggle more in the playoffs. I want to see Patrick Beverley struggle more in the playoffs. I want to see this team lose in the playoffs. And like I said last night, it was very satisfying seeing them lose. So that's kind of the wrap of the NBA, the NHL. The last thing I kind of want to talk about is basically, I was reading Twitter, I think it was Sunday night, Monday morning, and there was a lot of jokes from especially 49er fans about Russell Wilson, coming at him for being, for lack of better words, corny, unauthentic, and kind of just lame. And I'll be the first to admit, I mean, I love Russell Wilson. He's quarterback of my favorite team, one of the teams that I will go to my grave dying for, the Seattle Seahawks. He's probably the best quarterback or the second best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. But he is a little bit corny. He's not your cool type of quarterback. He's a quarterback, though. When you're a quarterback of an NFL franchise, you are basically the face of the franchise. You have to lead by example. He does everything the right way. He's a hard worker. He practices hard. He preps. He doesn't need much, right? They haven't given him much offensive, but he's a dog, man. Like, he is a D-A-W-G dog. When you look at him in the fourth quarter, when the game's on the line, name one quarterback you would want over Russell Wilson in money time? Nobody. Not even Patrick Mahomes, right? Russell Wilson is a dog on the football field. He plays his ass off until that final whistle, and you were never out of a game with Russell Wilson at your quarterback position. But sticking to the corniness label he has, I mean, yeah, he might not be the coolest guy out there, but at least he's authentic. That's who he is. He was brought up a certain way, and he was raised a certain way, the right way, and he is who he is. And you know what? That's something that I feel that athletes, people, everybody in the world does. People feel that, I know for myself too, that I felt that, you have to portray a certain image or portray a certain style and change who you really are to fit in. And honestly speaking, that's wrong. That's wrong thinking. And I feel that myself, I was guilty of it. I know tons of other people are guilty of it. I feel the world out there, everybody in the world has a place in this universe to be who they are. Be authentic to who you are. For myself, I felt that, maybe you couldn't be into sports. You couldn't follow sports as a passion. You couldn't follow sports as a career because it's considered weird or lame. But at the end of the day, do what you love to do. I've said it 1,000 times. Do what you love to do. And personally, for myself, it's like you find. I think it's once as you get older and you get more comfortable with your own skin, you start to realize, hey, like, I don't care what other people think, right? It doesn't matter. This is my life. I run it. It's my decision. If I want to do a sports podcast for the rest of my life, if I want to, become a baker, if I want to become a musician, if I want to become an investment banker, if I want to do this and that, do what you love to do. Be yourself. Be authentic. Don't change yourself for anybody else, whether that's a girlfriend, boyfriend, parents, friends, whatever. Don't ever change who you are as a person, right? Don't ever change those passions and those loves that you have for anybody, for anything, right? If you really do love something and you really are true to yourself, trust me, success will come, money will come, everything will come to you. What you have to realize is that, and athletes too, you look at athletes who try to change the way their game is played, change the way this, because they feel like it's not working. But then you look at it, sometimes if you're not overthinking, you just play. When you just play, sometimes that's when you play your best because you're just reacting on instinct. You're not overthinking it. Like if you're playing hockey, I can't go to my left side because I can't cross over. I can't do this or that. But if you just play and you react appropriately, you'll be fine, right? And that's the same thing in life. If you just live your life the way you want to live and you work hard and you stay true to your passions and authentic to who you are, people will come, relationships will come, money will come, success will come, because you know why? At the end of the day, you are being you are following what you love to do, and success will follow that. Money, success, power, fame, whatever you want to achieve in life will come with a couple things, a few ingredients. Hard work first. Stick to your process, stick to your goals, work at them, hone your craft, success will come. The next thing is just be you. Be authentic to who you are. Be a good person. Be real. Don't be somebody you don't want to be. Be you. I don't want to sound stupid or anything like that, but just be yourself, right? It's a simple thing. It's a very simple thing, but a very hard thing too, because we all want to be accepted. We all want to have friends. We all want to be accepted socially. We all want to feel that we're wanted, right? And that's why we change who we are, because we feel ourself isn't good enough to be accepted by other people, when in fact it is. Whoever you are, you will be accepted. If you love a certain thing or you have certain quirks about yourself, that should be embraced, not be brought down upon, right? For myself, I don't like a lot of time. I'm a very picky eater, right? Or whatever. I don't like certain things. I don't like roller coasters. I don't like birds. I don't like this and that. I don't like things, and I always felt that I had to try to change somebody that I'm not and be something that, you know, I wasn't, right? When in fact, all you got to do is be you. And I think as you get older and you understand that authenticity is the most important thing. If you're authentic to yourself and to your family, to your friends, you'll be loved and you'll be respected and you'll have success, right? So again, you can't crap on Russell Wilson for being too corny. That's who he is. And he's a damn good football player for it. And like I said, in life, you just realize that when you be you and when you're yourself and you're authentic, you'll be fine, right? But yeah, guys, that's it for this week. Like I said, Fantasy Football League, if you want in, let me know. I'll get you guys in there. More merch is going to be coming soon, I do think. And I just want to say thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys all. I wouldn't be here without you guys. And like I said, take care, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys later. Take care.